Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. I am the majestic Snare. This is my disembodied voice which has missed your beautiful faces. I might sound like I'm joking, but I have missed you guys, really. I had a holiday in Los Angeles just recently and I found Impossible Burgers. Now Impossible Burgers are burgers that aren't actually burgers. They're not made of meat. You Americans are strange people, but moving on. I love you, really. So for my first video back on the scene, thanks to Lee for looking after you guys with some playthroughs of a game that we both actually enjoy. Right, so on to today's video, and it's obviously going to be a Warframe related video, as you can tell by the title, what's on screen, etc. But I'm just showing off my Ember Prime. It's a frame I do love playing. I know I'm not that guy that just walks around with World on Fire. Which is the ultimate ability of Ember, but it does come in handy a lot of times, especially when you end up having to do a little bit of soloing when you're clearing out nodes on planets. But I will say this, I really like Ember, but I do like the fact that all frames are different, and I haven't really got a particular favourite, although Ember is doing it for me at the moment. So just putting that out there and moving on. So as I mentioned in the video earlier, I did have a week in Los Angeles recently, and while I was there, I think as I came back actually, the new drop in Warframe happened, the Beasts of the Sanctuary. Now this encompasses a new Warframe called Khora, a new mode called the Sanctuary, and also a couple of new guns, a new melee weapon and other bits and pieces. Now I don't know what to call this. Is it actually a release? Is it a patch? Is it a expansion? I don't know what the correct terminology is, but I just want to go through my thoughts on this collection of new stuff that's in the game. Now I will be doing, like I said, a more kind of milestone review of Warframe in another video, but what I want to talk about here is the fact that I think I know who this expansion pack thing is actually aimed at. So let's just go through it very quickly. So the Sanctuary involves kind of a survival mode, but it's tiered and stepped. So you'll start off in a particular area, you'll go through the first gate, and then you'll be encompassing it or coming into contact with some enemies, and then you'll kill all of those until the timer is up. A gate will open, you go through to the next one, and you receive a reward every two stages. So for people trying to use this to get the bits and pieces that are available, it's the grind basically. It's a survival mission which hasn't really got anything more deep than go and kill stuff, and you have to do, I think, 8 zones to get your C rotation prize, which is going to be parts of Khora, including the blueprint. Now Khora herself, I think it's a her. I always think of Warframes as a her. I know there's some he's, but she looks like a her, and she does have a kavat with her as an ability, I believe. Now I have to talk about this in a way that I've only been reading about Khora. I haven't actually got hold of it yet. I'll go into reasons why in a minute, but she has some very interesting abilities, like a chain prison to kind of capture and trap things inside it in an area, which obviously can be modded with expanded distance and reach and damage and power and everything else. You also have some interesting kind of trapping mechanisms and all these kind of things. I've seen people playing Khora in missions, but I haven't actually got my hands on Khora yet. I'm not going to pay out. With most Warframes, I want to earn the frame itself. The only one I've bought is Ember Prime because I think I was going to be able to get the parts to build Ember Prime, and I like Ember. It's not a secret. I mean, I just love Ember as a frame. It's one of my faves, even though I don't really have faves, but you know what I mean. So the mode of the Sanctuary is something that I think I know where it's aimed at. It's aimed at mid-tier players. I don't think it really has enough inside it for any end game content, and I am doing quotation marks, but it has that kind of mid-tier feel where it's, okay, just bring your strongest frame, bring your strongest weapon, bring your strongest abilities, and just go to town with a group of people, randoms or not. You're just going to go in and kill every moving, living thing. Okay, some of the things you kill aren't actually living, they're kind of infested nonsense or whatever, but listen, that's as deep as it goes. Go in, kill stuff, get loot, right? Very, very simple. The problem is, unfortunately, it's buggy as hell. Okay, I've experienced losing, and I repeat, losing the blueprints to Khora. Okay, now at that point I'd already done about, I don't know, 12 runs and got nothing related to the Warframe. I finally get something related to the Warframe, and what happens? This happens.
Specimens must experience unmatched stress. Increase your effort.
Now for you uninitiated folks out there that don't play a lot of Warframe, this is your disconnection nightmare. Okay, host migration. Now, normally it's not a massive deal, and it normally doesn't cause any issues, but the way that the Sanctuary mode is actually set up, that when the gate opens to go to the next zone, you can either stay where you are and kind of and leave the game, or you go through and go to the next zone. The problem being is that if you're the host of the session and you leave, it has to do the migration of the host to continue the game, as far as I understand it, which meant that when the host left and it couldn't reconnect all our Warframes back together again in the game, it decided to throw you back to the multiplayer menu. And guess what? Yeah, you guessed right. No loot for Snary Boy. Now, I love Warframe. I think I've made that abundantly clear. But bugs like that really push my buttons, okay? It's the kind of bug that makes me want to scream. Only because you have to spend, I think, to get to Zone 8, about 15 to 17 minutes, depending on how good your team is together, because you're going to be spending a fixed amount of time in each zone. So what you're left with is unfortunately a situation where you can put in all the time and not get stuff back. Now, you remember from previous videos, one of my plus points for Warframe is you get what you pay for in time in Warframe. You spend 10 minutes, you get 10 minutes worth of rewards. You spend 10 hours, you get 10 hours worth of rewards, but not in Sanctuary. They have to really, they have been pumping out fixes for this particular mode, and it is something that's worth doing to get the stuff, because it is good practice. And you know, if you are into that kind of really practicing certain high level stuff, because the enemy levels did go up quite quickly, and by zone 8 you're talking, I suppose, between 60 and 80 in enemy level, so there's enough to be keeping you sort of active, and if you want that challenge, it's there. But not if you're a top tier player. If you're a mid tier player, it's kind of challenging, I think. But considering the sorties go up to like 100, 120, I think at the last kind of mission, you're going to be spending, if you're a top tier player, you're not going to be enjoying those missions. They'll just be a grind for grind's sake. And unfortunately, the way or the frequency of the Khora drops, it's a proper grind. I will promise you this now though, I will have Khora. That sounds rude, but I don't mean it that way. I will obtain this frame, and when I do, I will do some sort of review on abilities and what I think of the frame, because I think each individual frame is very, very interesting, even at a base level, with the limited kind of experience and knowledge that I have. Okay, so I will be doing videos like that in the future, and let me know down in the comments if you want me to do individual frame reviews or stuff like that, because I think it's something that I could do if I had enough time. So if there's any particular frames you'd like me to do a review on, especially if it's one I've not actually tried yet, some of the later obtainable ones, so let me know down in the comments, it'd be awesome. But one thing I will say is that she better be fucking good, because I'm spending hours trying to get her, and I don't want that experience to be marred when I actually get hold of the frame and go, oh, that's it. But I do know that each individual frame, you know, they do think about the ability sets, they do think about the way that it should be played, whether it's defensive, offensive, melee, you know, gunplay, whatever it might be. They do think about those abilities, and they do think about the way it's put together and how it will interact with other frames. And I do love that about this game. It's the puzzle of putting things together and to make it much stronger than the sum of all of its parts, you know. It's very, very much a good thing to have that kind of flexibility in a game. So at the end of the day, my very quick summary, if you were lazy and got to this point in the video just by scrolling along, I think the Sanctuary is a mode that is interesting for maybe a couple of hours, and until you get all your parts out of it to build the Warframe, maybe get a few of the weapons. I don't know if the weapons are actually rewards from Sanctuary. I know that the Warframe parts are, but as soon as you get all the bits you need and you want, that's it. You're going to put it down and never go back to the Sanctuary again. It's probably a nice way to give people another game mode, because I do know that the game has a number of different modes on a number of different planets that kind of open up for you. But the Sanctuary is interesting. I've enjoyed some of my time with it, but I don't think it's got much longevity in it at all. It's very grindy at the moment, it's very buggy, so at your own peril really. If you want Khora and you don't want to spend money, there is a way to get hold of her, and I'm sharing the pain with you on that one by not actually having enough hours in the day to get the damn parts I need. Now, some people have ground away, or grinded, never know. Some people have spent a lot of time getting Khora. They've managed it, they're happy, I'm sure they're happy, and that's that. But for me, it's quite a grind. So that's my really, really quick review of the Beast of the Sanctuary. It has, it's been nice to see Digital Extremes bringing along a new mode, bringing out a new Warframe. I know it's been touted for some time, and they're always thinking about the next thing to do with Warframe, so so I'm always excited to hear what's coming out soon. I've heard some rumours about things they might do in the future that I think would be really exciting, and obviously I'll cover those when they come along because I love this damn game. I can't say that enough. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to drop a like down below, maybe even subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends. Tell your grandma how great I am talking about Warframe. She'll love it, mate. She'll love it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that today. I sound like Forrest Gump now. I've been in America too long. But guys, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, love you. Bye bye.